In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some really simple watercolor thank you card fronts. And some of these are going to be really simple, and then a couple of these are going to be a little bit more time consuming, but I'll still try and keep them really simple for you. So on this first one, you're going to start with clean water and just brush that over a little bit of your paper. I'm trying to leave a little bit of a border. I know it's hard to see right now, but I don't want to go all the way to the edge. I'm leaving like 1/2 inch on the top. Now, I've already cut these down to the size of what my card is going to be, and then I'm just going to glue these to a pre-made card base. All right, now I've got to decide what color I want. Since these are kind of more Thanksgiving time, fall inspired, I'm going to do some fall colors, and I'm just painting a little stripe of color right in the center here. And I'm just going to paint a couple of stripes in varying shades of these oranges and yellows. I'm not worrying about where they're bleeding to or anything like that. I'm just placing that color and letting it kind of do whatever it wants. Now you can see where my paper was really wet is where it kind of separated and bled out a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna leave this. I'm kind of happy with where that is. And I'm going to let it dry completely before I add my calligraphy thank you to this, which we'll do in just a minute. So I'll set that aside. That's kind of a more abstract approach, but it's super easy to paint a bunch of these lines, and it looks like you spent a lot of time painting them when really it took less than a minute. So there's a really fun, easy card front for you. Now we're going to continue on with this Thanksgiving kind of theme. I'm going to add in a little bit of Payne's gray to my orange to mute that down just a little bit. I don't want it quite as vibrant for this one. And what I'm going to do here is just paint some little sprigs right on the bottom here. I'm going to mix it up just a little and vary the color by adding in a little bit of pink as I go down. So again, this is taking a little bit more time than that first one, but not too much time. You could still make a bunch of these. And these don't just have to be for Thanksgiving. If you wanted to paint this any time of the year, you could just switch up the colors to whatever you prefer. Okay, so I've got kind of that first sprig. I'm going to do 1 or 2 more. I haven't decided quite yet what I want to do, but do 1 more. Okay, I'm going to stop there, but I've kind of just painted these 3 sprigs and I've overlapped them a little bit. I'm going to let this dry, and then my sentiment can go up here in this little area. I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but all the products that I'm using are going to be linked down in the description box below. I'm using Fabriano cold press paper, and I just used a paper trimmer to get this the size that I wanted it. Let's do a vertical card for this one. I'm just getting my color mixed. This is Rose Doré. I really love this color, especially for like a fall theme. And berries are really, really popular in just like fall decor and stuff like that. So that's why I'm going to paint some little berries. Let's see. Mixing just a dark green. Now I'm being careful not to touch the green to my orange berries because those haven't quite dried yet, and I don't want to ruin the bright orange that I have going on. If I accidentally tap into that, it's okay, but if I can help it, I'm gonna try and avoid that. Okay, now I'm gonna go in and add just some little tiny leaves. Now I'm just kind of balancing things out with a few extra leaves. Okay. And I'm going to let this dry now. And for my last one, I'm going to do a larger flower. I want to make this one really soft because I'm planning on writing right over the top of it. So that's why I'm adding water to this paint. Now that I've kind of painted this in, I might put the sentiment down here, but the idea is that I would want this to be light enough that I could go right over the top of this. But now that I've got it down, I think that might be a little bit too scary to try and paint over the top, and that's okay. You don't have to paint over the top. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry before I add any more little details. We'll come back to this one. So this one looks like it is completely dry. Really like how this one turned out. So I'm just going to grab my brush pen. This is a Zebra calligraphy brush pen. And then just down here, just added my little thank you down there. And that one's good to go as soon as I glue it onto the front of a card. I would probably use like a Tombow roller adhesive or something like that. That's not going to get the back of this wet. I don't want to do anything like that that's going to warp this even more than it already is warped just from the watercolor. And same with here. I'm just going to add my thanks. You don't have to do calligraphy. You could do something like this. It's just a little handwritten thing. I kind of prefer the calligraphy. That's just my personal preference. I think it looks really elegant and pretty. And now I'm going to finish this one off. This one's still wet, that's why that leaf is kind of bleeding. But just for sake of time, I'm not going to worry about it right now. You get the idea of what it's supposed to look like. All right, and there you go. There are some really simple fall-inspired paintings that you can put on the front of your cards. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please join me next week. I'm going to be giving some tips on how to overlap flowers so that they don't look like they're crowded, all of that kind of thing. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thanks again for watching. Bye!